podcast channel for YouTube. We're moving in now to week 9. The games for this week, we are going to start by telling you who is on bye this week. It is the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Arizona Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Houston Texans. So we have a pretty full week of byes this time. Getting late in the year, so that's when the byes are going to start to come. First game up, we have the Green Bay Packers. They are traveling to Carolina to play the undefeated Panthers. Green Bay 6-1 off last week's loss to the Denver Broncos. The Carolina Panthers are of course 7-0, continuing to find ways to win games. Injury report first for the Green Bay Packers. Clay Matthews, the linebacker, questionable. Sam Shields, the cornerback, is questionable. Ty Montgomery, the wide receiver, is questionable. For Carolina, only one listed. It's Josh Norman, the cornerback, and he is listed as probable. Alright, so you got Green Bay coming off a loss. You got Carolina undefeated. We've talked about Cam Newton all year. He's finding ways to win games. He's really barely over 50% passing. He almost has 100 incompletions, 99 incompletions on 216 passes. But again, he's finding ways to win. Only 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Conversely, Aaron Rodgers on 204 passes only has 66 incompletions. The yardage is actually quite similar, but Aaron Rodgers only 2 interceptions to 15 touchdowns this far this season. Eddie Lacy not really running the ball as well as I thought. Doesn't even have 300 yards yet this season. Jonathan Stewart is even showing later in his career he can still get the job done. He's well over 4 yards per carry. Actually, just right at about 4 yards per carry this far this season. Now with this one, I know I'm going to regret it, and I keep doing it, but I think due for a loss, and especially after Green Bay lost to Denver, they're going to come into this week angry. They're going to want to get back in their winning ways, and we've said that Carolina eventually has to lose, and I would expect this to be the game. I love Cam Newton. I've described how he's one of my favorite players and all, but I just see it happening, and I'm pretty sure, like usual, I'm going to end up regretting this one, but I'm taking the Packers in this game. Josh Norman's going to play well for Carolina and keep those receivers in check, but Aaron Rodgers is still going to find enough. He's going to spread the ball out and get the job done. Should be fairly high scoring, even though Carolina does have a good defense. They will likely keep Aaron Rodgers in check somewhat. I'm liking this game to be 31-21 in favor of the Green Bay Packers. Alright, next up, Washington Redskins at 3-4, traveling to New England to play the Patriots. They are 7-0. Washington has not won a road game, and New England obviously has not lost a home game. The injury reports, first for the Redskins, they're all questionable. Chris Culliver, the cornerback, is questionable. D'Angelo Hall, cornerback. Ryan Kerrigan, linebacker. Keenan Robinson, linebacker. And Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver. Again, all listed as questionable. Same thing with New England, all questionables. Jabal Shear, the defensive lineman. Deion Lewis, the running back. And Julian Edelman, the wide receiver. We look at Tom Brady. Again, having a spectacular season. He's almost at 2,500 yards. He should eclipse that in this game, which will be the 8th game of the season. So, he has potential to go near 5,500 yards. Will he keep his clip up? We'll have to see. He only has 1 interception and 20 touchdowns. So really, if there's any favorite for MVP this season, it is Tom Brady. Kirk Cousins not really playing that well. He has 84 incompletions on 268 pass attempts, 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Washington not running the ball particularly well. Not that New England is either, but Washington certainly needs a better running attack. Alfred Morris, the top runner, only 302 yards this season on less than 4 yards per carry. What can you say? New England is almost certain to roll in this game, especially with Culliver and D'Angelo all being questionable. If neither one of them can go, it's really going to be a problem even with both of them on the field. I don't see Washington hanging around. We've talked about Washington, how they are one of those funny teams that will, surprise you at times. They haven't won a road game, so I expect that they should come out and be relatively confident in this game, but I just can't see it happening in this one. You gotta like the Patriots, and they should score a lot, especially with the injuries and the potential injuries on that side of the ball for Washington. And Washington will keep pace a little bit, but in the end, just not enough. I'm liking this game to be 35-23 in favor of the Patriots. Next up, Miami Dolphins traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. Both teams 3-4. Buffalo surprisingly only 1-3 at home. The loser of this game is really going to be in a tough way, especially in that division. So we'll start with the injuries first for the visiting Dolphins. Koa Misi, the linebacker, is questionable. Jordan Cameron, the tight end, questionable. Devontae Parker, wide receiver, doubtful. Bryce McCain, cornerback, is probable. Jay Ajayi, the rookie running back, is on injury reserve. For Buffalo, Carlos Williams, the running back, is probable. Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver, questionable. Percy Harvin, the wide receiver, doubtful. Corey Graham, the safety, probable. And Mario Williams, the defensive end, is probable. Buffalo coming in and look to get healthy. Tyrod Taylor is going to play in this game, and they're going to need him. They really got to get rolling again. It comes down to whether Sammy Watkins is going to go or not. For Miami, you look at them, they had won their 2 straight and got really hammered by New England last Thursday, so they've had a little more time as well because they played last Thursday. Are they going to come back to their consistency, or are they going to continue to struggle here? I was expecting more from them in that New England game, and they did not deliver it. So we'll have to see how that happens. I look for Buffalo. They can't be this bad at home, and I think they are a bit more talented than Miami. And I think Tyrod Taylor, now that he's back on the field, is going to start to play well again. And Sammy Watkins is going to go, and they're going to find LaShawn McCoy, who should be all healthy and all set to go. There shouldn't be any problems there. Mario Williams will get pressure on the quarterback, and Buffalo is going to come out of this game with the win. I'm liking it to be 24-21. Next up, the St. Louis Rams are traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Both teams are not surprising for me. We told you Minnesota was going to be good this year. You would have heard it here first and listen. But St. Louis certainly surprising at 4-3. Minnesota 5-2, playing very well. The injury report for the visiting Rams first. Trey Mason, running back, questionable. Robert Quinn, defensive end, questionable. TJ McDonald, safety, questionable. For the Vikings, Audie Cole, the linebacker, questionable. Stephon Diggs, wide receiver, probable. Anthony Barr, the linebacker, questionable. Everson Griffin, the defensive end, is questionable. And Sharif Floyd is listed as out. Teddy Bridgewater, they really have not taken the shackles off of him as we would expect. He's throwing for a lot more yards than you would figure, even though I don't think they're opening the playbook up enough for him, but only 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Adrian Peterson, close to 5 yards per carry, a little under, a little over 4.5, but under 5 yards per carry. He's been the bell cow this year, only 3 touchdowns though. Todd Gurley is really coming to his own, and certainly in contention for the rookie of the year. Again, that's something I said he would be in contention for at the beginning of the year. I picked Amari Cooper, but Todd Gurley, if healthy, should be a monster, and that's what he's doing. Nick Foles, he's got to cut the turnovers down. He's got his touchdowns on both his turnovers this far this season, but he's still not playing very well at all. Sort of 2 bad quarterbacks getting traded, and then Nick Foles St. Bradford deal. So that's what happened. With this one, I look at Sharif Floyd being out. It's going to allow Nick Foles to have time in which he should limit his turnovers if he's not under that much pressure. But Minnesota, we've seen their maturity, especially winning that game on the road against Chicago, a division game against a poor opponent. We discussed how important it is to get those games, and they did. This is another game against a good team at home, so you got to kind of find a way to respond against a team that's kind of lurking there under the radar. Really interesting game, and frankly, I think St. Louis is going to get the win in this game on the road. I think Minnesota is playing well. They've won a couple games here, but I think it's their due for loss, and it's going to happen in this one. And I think the injury to Sharif Floyd will be the reason for that. I am liking St. Louis to come out of this game and win. I think it'll be low scoring as you'd expect with these 2 quarterbacks playing. I think it's going to be 20-16 as Minnesota struggles to find the end zone. Jacksonville traveling to New York to play the Jets. The Jaguars 2-5, the Jets 4-3. Jets coming back to earth here a bit. Injury report for Jacksonville, no players listed. For the Jets, Nick Mangold, their center, is probable. Eric Decker, the wide receiver, probable. Brandon Marshall, wide receiver, questionable. Bilal Powell, running back, doubtful. Willie Colon, the guard, is questionable. Ryan Fitzpatrick is expected to go. He has that injury to his hand. I'll look for them to run the ball with Chris Ivory, especially if Fitzpatrick can't throw the ball that well. They should be doing that more anyway, especially since they've been struggling, that is, with turnovers as well. And with Ryan Fitzpatrick injury to the hand, you might expect more turnovers here. Blake Bortles quietly putting together a fairly nice season. He does have 120 incompletions on 271 passes. However, that's not too good, but does have 15 touchdowns through the air to only 8 interceptions. 8 interceptions is a bit high, but he's certainly got nearly twice as many touchdowns as he does interceptions. If Brandon Marshall can't go, that'll be a problem. I look for the Jets to get well in this game, so to speak. Jacksonville, we talked about them. I had them right around 6 wins, showing improvement this year. This would certainly be a big step forward. Had the Jets not been playing, I think had been playing better up until this point. They've been playing poorly. I think it would be a bit more interesting in regards to how well Jacksonville can play, but I think the Jets need it, and they're going to find it against a poor team. This one, and expect Chris Ivory to be the big reason why. So I'm going to pick the Jets, and I like it 27-21 late. And I think Jacksonville is going to play well, but the Jets just need it, as we said, and I'm going to come away with it. All right, so we are going to take another break right here. Be sure to stay with us for just a couple minutes, and we will be right back, continuing with game picks for this week.